you needed a special passcode and key to get into the stairwell that led to the roof, and then the door had the same safety features.
That's what I was going to ask you. And how would anybody make it so easy for someone else to fall into a water holding tank?
Well, and then even just to get up there, they do say that they did some research, and it's pretty easy to get up there from a fire escape. But if you're trying to get into the elevator, why would you go up? I would go down because you want to get out and away. But that's, I don't know, that's just me. And then, so they only have this, and you can get up there from the fire escapes. But so each tank, there were 4 tanks, and they're 4 by 8 feet, and they're cylinders. There aren't any, like the ladders that are built on the water towers, and they didn't have those. The workers had to get there by putting a ladder up against these tanks.
And was there any, I wonder if there was a ladder around or by that tank.
I don't think there was, because he noticed it was open, and that's why he checked that one first. But there's nothing saying that, you know, maybe, like, they shouldn't have strangulation marks or anything like that, but who's to say she wasn't killed, somebody put her in there and put the ladder away.
Yeah.
Because that's always a possibility. Because if you smother somebody with a pillow, that's not really going to show up with anything unless, you know, they were breathing in cotton or something like that.
Wow.
So the lids are also super heavy, and you couldn't replace them once you were in there. So it does make sense that he found it open. Because even if it was somebody from the outside, if they're that heavy and you're not used to it, putting it on correctly would be difficult. But the dogs didn't pick up her scent at all on the roof. So it's like, how did she get on the roof? I don't believe she got there on her own volition, because the dogs stopped at the window where the fire escape was, and they lost her scent. But in the water tank, they found her clothing, her hotel key were all in the tank with her.
Did the dogs pick up her scent out in the hallway or anything?
Nope.
Wow, that's
bizarre. Why, and like, did somebody carry her? I don't think they would carry her up the fire escape. That'd be a little tough, but if the dogs lost the scent, she could have been brought up via the elevator.
And there was nothing in her room at all?
Right. And I'd love to see the logs of, like, who had accessed the like the roof and things like that.
That's really very interesting.
Especially because the dog, like, her scent was just gone in her room.
It's bizarre.
So yeah, that's why I part of the belief that something happened to her in her room, and then she was removed from the room. But I mean, who knows? And then the elevator video. So one of the main theories was that she was being pursued by an unseen individual. The autopsy was able to shut down a number of the theories, including the talk screen. However, some wonder if she was sexually assaulted, because when she was removed from the tank, there was subcutaneous pooling of blood near her rectum, which could have been a sign of sexual abuse. But the coroner was pretty hell-bent on saying that this is also part of the natural decaying process. I don't know. I didn't look that much into it, but they never talked about having like a rape kit or anything like that done either. And so if she was supposed to leave the hotel the 1st, and say she went missing on the 31st, so she had theoretically been in that tank for almost like 2.5 weeks. Almost
wow.
3 weeks.
That's a long time.
Because they found her on the 16th. No, so that would have been 2 weeks. Oof. So the family actually filed a wrongful death suit against the Cecil. Ultimately, the hotel said that there were enough safety precautions in place, and they couldn't prove that Lam didn't go into the tank herself, so the suit was dismissed.
I don't see how that could be dismissed, because if they had safety protocols in place, how did this 20-year-old girl get around all that? So, I mean,
Even getting up on the thing, if you have, like, a storage thing up there, you would think that the ladders wouldn't be accessible.
But if it's locked to even get up there,
Right.
obviously it wasn't enough.
Well, and then also, why don't they have video up there? Because with the water supplies and things like that, we take it really seriously.
Yeah, it has to be sterile.
Right, and even just to, like, monitor and make sure somebody's not messing with it. But anyway, they did dismiss the suit. And then earlier this year in February, Netflix released the 4-episode docuseries. It was called Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil. And they actually went through and investigated her disappearance. It was really good. And it was kind of the same story because it's like, I don't think we'll ever know. And I don't think that the hotel was 100% transparent. Because if they were, maybe why don't they have the key codes and just show who was up on that? And to not go up to those tanks for 2 weeks, wouldn't you think there'd be...
It doesn't make sense. There should have been almost like a rounding log, you know, for security.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, maybe things are different in California, but that really isn't that long ago. What, 8 years?
Right.
So... I'm not understanding what there wasn't. I don't agree that there was enough safety precautions in place. I just don't.
Right. And
even if you can get up there through a fire escape, why would you have a fire escape going up?
Yeah, typically you want them going down.
Although if there was I mean, I get it if there was floors above, but say would you say it went to 19 floors?
Right, and I don't even know what floor she was up
So you would think that there might be one to the 19th floor, but it wouldn't go all the way up to the roof.
Right. It would so I would think about it at work where you have to put the key in to get up above the last
and
floor.
have rounding logs by the security guards, like they have their name tag or whatever that little stick is to just to monitor that they're going and they're checking. But I don't know. I guess it's different everywhere.
Yeah. So
I actually thought maybe, I mean, I see all these, if they're saying they had safety precautions in place, why wasn't there an added safety measure for the water tower? Why wasn't there like a key that you had to sign out or something to actually open the water tank? Because there's no real reason why would you even have access to get into the water tower, you know?
Right. That's why it just boggles my mind that there weren't some kind of logs. Because what if there was like an outbreak of some kind of parasite and they linked it back to the water? You would think they'd want to have a log of when it was last treated, who was last up there. I don't know. It's just, I feel like more could have been made public. Maybe because it remains, well, they dubbed it an accidental drowning.
I just don't, I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't believe that to be true, but.
They make it sound like she just went up there to take a swim.
Right.
I mean, honestly, how would you even realize that that's where their water source was?
Right. And why would you open it and look in there?
And me, for one person, I don't like heights.
Well,
so there's no way I'm going up there.
Right.
Especially on a fire escape.
Definitely. That's why I'm like, no, I wouldn't take the fire escape. And even then, there's nothing on the roof. It's not like The Hangover where they were playing a joke on their buddy and they left him up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the weird case of Elisa Lam and the Cecil Hotel.
That makes me want to go home and watch that again.
I know, I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I want to watch that. And it's a perfect rainy day to sit and watch it.
I thought that was a good one, Kelly.
Thanks. It was a little less of a bummer than the one from last week, so.
It is what it is.
So don't forget to check out this week's Missing Mondays Audrey Heron story. Kim worked really hard on that, and we got to hear from the family and things like that. So if anybody has any tips, the numbers and everything like that are on the line, and we'll keep you guys posted. But don't forget to like our posts so that way you can possibly win the book. All right, until next week. Bye.